Stop if you have ever heard this before, but evergreen conversation that the Monday after Super Bowl should be a national holiday. I am going to bat for that. I'm going to start a petition, change.org. This should be a national holiday. But because Des and I are so committed to our craft and I live in a different nation, we are we are here nonetheless. We are here and we're transitioning this from big board season or from big game season to big board, just like that in the blink of an eye. But we can't transition without celebrating this beautiful community because we had so many winners yesterday.
That was like really crazy. I knew that there would be a lot of people to have that did well in the Discord and that follow us and whatnot, but I did not expect the sheer number of winners. I mean, I didn't tally up all the winnings, but I bet it's pretty close to six figures in total, dude. If not beyond, probably well beyond that. Like, really, really crazy how well everyone did. So salute to the community, man, and everybody that chopped. And of course, man, how poetic was it that like Jawan Jennings and Mecole Hardman, like,
as you need.
How poetic.
Yeah. It's true, man. It's true. I mean, I think the sickest thing about so nobody was really surprised by the chop when we thought through the board and how the combos came to be, right? It was very easy, especially early in the gauntlet window, to pair Chiefs and Niners. It was the perfect recipe and formula of Mahomes and Kelsey would routinely fall back to the CMC, and then nobody else would want to build Chiefs without Mahomes and Kelsey, yada, yada, right?
Mm-hmm.
The beautiful part of it was that the game theory element of not just adding random one-offs to those builds weren't the guys you needed. It was actually stacking the Super Bowl. It was getting 5 from that side. It was getting the auxiliary components. Second year in a row, man, where we saw Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore become relevant last year. This year, we see it with Mecole Hardman and Jawan Jennings. So just love seeing, like, we talked so much about how, like, this is one of the most quote-unquote beatable, in quotations, contests by staying structured and staying, with intelligent builds. And that's exactly what came to fruition.
And I do think that the edge is still strong. I mean, not to say that next Super Bowls will feature in the winning lineups like guys that are at the bottom of ranks and whatnot that just happen to make the Super Bowl. Obviously, that might not happen again, but I mean, the edge is still there because even myself, I catch myself being like, do I really want Jawan Jennings on my Niners builds, or do I want to like try to get out of the first round? And
yeah.
And if you didn't have Jawan Jennings in those Niners builds, you were absolutely toast in the chop fest. So, it's just kind of, it's nice to see that those type of principles get home, because even though it just happened, I still don't think come next Super Bowl or come next playoffs, people will be drafting that same way. So playoff basketball is always just so much fun, game theory and everything else that goes into it. So shout out to everybody that won. Fun contest, fun Super Bowl.
Yeah, speaking of which, I just did a quick and dirty version of people that tagged us on Twitter or posted stuff in the Discord. So shout out to Rob here, was part of that gauntlet chop there. Am I jumping from one to the other? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let me give it a zoom here.
Oh man.
All right, there we go.
OG right here.
Yeah, LED jumping in there. Big Fudgy, great name. Love to see it. Alex coming through here. This one was
Goblor.
Yeah, it was Goblor. Yeah, good shout there. The Dog Bowl champ finding his way to both the big game leaderboard of the weekly winners and for, I want to say, one of the smaller contests, like the way too early. I saw him get there as well, but he didn't post it, but I saw it.
Boro.
Where are we at here? Oh yeah, Boro United and Lundor and you got
Neil.
Shout out to our guy Neil, naturally there. Scary Top, love to see this one, part of that chop as well. Igloo. I don't know which contest this was because the lineup was slightly different.
Is this either Small Gauntlet or the Igloo? Or the Igloo.
Literally,
Jesus Christ.
Igloo winning the Igloo? That'd be sick.
For the Summit. God damn, man. My wires are so crossed right now. It's insane.
That's why today should be a holiday, Nez.
You're right. You're right. But this is a work day for us, man. We gotta deliver. The people want the post Super Bowl content.
True, it's true. Of course, our guy Pat, legendary upside there. Love to see that one. And then ASAP Tuna, ASAP Tuna. Let's go with ASAP. It sounds cooler, like ASAP Rocky.
It is
Uh,
ASAP tuna. That's what
love
he's
it.
got. He's got the little ASAP in his header. I love that you threw Karain in there. Like, yeah, we
I
claim
had to.
Karain.
We got it, man.
Karain's in our community. He's one. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
ours. Still,
He's first ever guest. He's got to be
that's
in
true.
there.
That's
Yeah.
true.
He could have chosen to be any guest anywhere else at that point in time, and he chose us, Nez. So we're claiming him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I don't know, just big fun. Shout out to the community there. Love to see it. I mean, it's evergreen, man. We come on here, we talk about a hoop slate. There's another one over the weekend. Jordan took down the hoop slate. Big shout out to Jordan in the Discord every single night talking hoops, and finally gets his deserved pink there, right? Where it's just like, man, every single night there is someone sharp talking about something or talking about having a sweat. And lo and behold, when it comes, the cards are flipped at the end of all this. Look at all these names from the Deposit Kingdom Discord. Love to see it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I like that we have this group of winners that is like cordial and funny and smart and like and hanging out and in the Deposit Kingdom. That's cool, man. It makes my heart smile. I'm proud of it.
Yeah, and the best part, I mean, we've reiterated this ad nauseum and whatever, but the best part is the cordial aspect that like everyone is genuinely happy for one another. Everyone celebrates one another, even if it gets like comes at the expense of you, I, or someone else. Everyone's just like, yeah, that's just part of the game. That's how we play. That's the game that we play. All right, let's move on.
Yep.
It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Move on.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Ness. What are you gonna say?
I was just a side tangent because like I always see Nick's comments, and yesterday I did get burned by Terry pre-Super Bowl. We had the 2-game NBA slate, and I think
You guys
Nick
are sick.
Dude,
Super Bowl morning, you guys are 150 in the hoops. I love it so much.
three person contest, you have to. And I was dude, I got double burnt because I was low key playing Jimmy out, but had a lot of Terry and had a lot of Jaime Jaquez. Terry like did something real bad. I don't know what happened, but he kind of landed awkwardly. Was removed from the third, didn't return, but was like starting to cook because he's been like slowly having increased usage. So I was really excited to get in on that early before he really broke out, gets hurt. And then Jaime Jaquez, I had all that exposure before the Jimmy news. Sklansky bucks just pouring out of my pockets. And then he puts up like 10 fantasy points. So never Jaime. Never Heat. I'm so glad we don't have to draft the Heat today. Thank God.
There we go. Never Heat is a evergreen statement I can chill by. Zeke asking in the chat here when the payouts for mitten returns, when everything. I encourage everyone to go follow the @Underdog Drafts account, and Neumy, Hope, the contingency that is behind the scenes there, will tweet that information out later this week, and then they'll progressively tweet out as certain contests get paid. My best guess would be payment would start Wednesday and then move its way to Thursday. Something like that.
Yeah. Typically, these payments have been made Thursday for the regular pods, and weekly winners typically pays out Wednesday. So I would imagine, I would anticipate Thursday. If you were like really counting on this cash, I would anticipate Thursday.
Okay, cool. Big shout out to LED. Thank you for the support here. There you go. Chopped first 14 ways, and it was mitten 3, 5 bullets. See, that's all you need, man. That's another shout out to the building intelligently on low volume that you can still get home, because this is genuinely a game of skill, and you don't get scared off by the 150 maxers and the auto bros and all this sort of stuff. Because if you build intelligently like LED did, perfect. Love to see it.
That's fire.
All right, Nezzy, what do you think? Let's talk about the game a little bit yesterday, just because I want, obviously we didn't watch it together and that sort of thing. But what were your just like overarching, thoughts and whatnot? Like, I think we low key nailed how the game was going to go. Just in general, like, or you thought it was kind of going to shoot up, but I really liked
I had
this
my optimism
avenue.
hat on. I was
Yeah,
like, this is gonna be a great game. Like,
yeah.
I think I was correct in, how it would have needed to taken place if the game was to shoot out. And my step one didn't really come to fruition where like we needed the Chiefs, I thought, to really like up the urgency, but they were trailing for most of the game. So, but either way, that's kind of like a no shit thing. However, yeah, no, that was a very strong defensive game, but I mean, I feel like Mahomes is just like the story. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I like you can't. It's all the talk right now of just like what he's done in his first 6 years. It's just like it's truly just like unbelievable. Like what
Yeah.
like his career he is literally like cemented himself. Like there is no debating. This dude is like top two.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Very
how do you
much so.
possibly have an argument over anybody besides Brady for Mahomes? And he's 28.
Yeah. Yeah, it's truly incredible. It is truly incredible. I feel bad for the Shanahan side, like losing it, Andy Reid again and that sort of thing. But yeah, man, this is like generational dynasty that we are watching in real time. And I like your approach, like just step back and respect it and appreciate it in the moment, opposed to, oh man, Mahomes again, really? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because that
Right.
will be a little bit of the mainstream narrative there. And for the beginning of that football game, man, it looked like Purdy was outplaying him. Like for the first half when it was really tightly contested and like it was like defensive struggle and it was 10-3 for seemingly forever. It felt like Purdy was outplaying him. Purdy was 7 of 8 to start, and it looked like they were having success, and it looked like the other side was struggling because their offensive line was so depleted, and they were routinely getting pressure. San Francisco, that is, routinely getting pressure with just rushing four because we knew they weren't going to blitz. Yeah, very interesting game. I thought there was a lot of defensive standout players. Like Fred Warner played incredible on
Yeah.
Travis Kelsey in the first half. Like Travis Kelsey had one catch from 1 yard in the first half. Like just truly incredible there. I think Trent McDuffie, like low key,
Mhm.
was player of the game. Good UW boy, shout out. Um, yeah.
No, he
But yeah,
was. You're
just
not wrong.
yeah, I think the game was saved and salvaged from like an entertainment perspective by it being so tight down the stretch and then them trading, back and forth drives to then push it to overtime and that sort of thing. I was really
Yeah.
hoping the game didn't go to overtime, not gonna lie, just because I didn't want the discourse and the narrative of, oh, we have to change overtime for the next like 3 months on like mainstream media. But the fact that both teams got a possession and it didn't just end on the first drive, or like it can't anymore. But like with the old narrative of like, hey,
Yeah.
if it had just ended without one team getting possession or whatever, yeah.
I was really, really confused by the new overtime rules. Like I was not prepared for this. Like the lack of urgency that seemed to happen with like, like, oh, if you run out of like there was no actual urgency to score before the 15 minutes of overtime was up because they have to complete that drive. Like the
Yeah.
drive actually has to get completed. I was not aware of that. I was like, "What? What is going on?" But they still kind of like snapped the ball with low key urgency. Um,
To some
yeah,
extent, the clock just doesn't matter, which is weird.
yeah, it's just like for like a pseudo like break because like what should
Yeah.
have like really sounded the alarms, which like something did go off in my head, but I just kind of like ignored it. Was like there used to be like that 2 minute warning at overtime,
Mhm.
and then there wasn't one, so I was like, "Huh, guess no 2 minute warning," and then I just like didn't give a fuck about it. And then there's also 3 timeouts per team. I was like, this seems a little weird. And I just like didn't really worry about it. Should we? I mean, we don't even have to spend a lot of time talking about this, but
Mhm.
obvious, like, why would you do that in receiving the ball first from Shanahan, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then there's all these stories coming out today that the 49ers teams were unaware, like, or the 49ers team was unaware of the overtime rules. Have you seen these stories today?
Yeah, I still think Shanahan knew, right?
Right. Well, you would think, but if that is anecdotally true, did he not then explain to his team going out there that if we win the toss, we don't want the ball kind of thing? Or did Shanny
Right.
still want the ball and mess up in quotations? Because like you want to know what you want to score.
Right.
Yeah, like you want
Yeah.
to know, do we need a touchdown or a field goal here? Because it changes the way in which you play. Are we in 4-down territory because we need a touchdown, or are we in 3-down territory because we need a field goal?
Yeah, I don't know how you take the ball first and
Mhm.
say, "Oh, we're going to settle for a field goal if we get the fourth down." I just don't think that's what you do,
Right.
because it's Patrick Mahomes. He's going to get into field goal territory. Are you kidding me? You don't think he can get, because you're gonna kick a touchback. You don't think Mahomes can get 40, 50 yards on you? So like, go for it. Put them in your own 10, at your own 10 if you don't go for it. If you don't get it, like, I just really thought that he overthought that. And I saw somebody make a decent point that Shanahan is kind of in his Andy Reid arc, where Andy Reid
Okay.
was not a very good like in-game coach for a long time. Like, great schemer, really good regular season coach, got great results, but had trouble with the in-game management. I kind of I kind of agreed with that. I forget who said that. I should,
Yeah,
but like
I
I
mean,
think
it
that
checks
makes
out.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it checks out. There was some curious stuff too at the end of both halves there with timeout usage on both sides for both coaches there. But this is the big one. Like, yeah, like Rasheed Grant, like this is what everyone thought, and this is what the people I was hanging out with thought, and whatever is like, if you score first, the game's over. And that's not true in the playoffs. That's
Hmm.
true in the regular season. If you get the ball first, you go down, you score a touchdown, the other team doesn't get the ball. That was like the old rule. Now the new rule is that the other team's going to get a possession no matter what. So yeah, it's interesting.
Which I think is good. I think it's honestly okay to not
Mhm.
have another team get a chance in the regular season. Maybe that's just like my baseball brain of just like, hey, like let's just like, less game in the regular
Mhm.
season. Obviously, like in the playoffs, totally makes sense to do it how they have it set up, which I think is good. But yeah, teams won't make this mistake again. I would be shocked if you see a team in the playoffs go into overtime and not defer next season.
Right. Yeah, that's what Chipsy's saying here. It's just like you always defer in
Yeah,
everything.
like
I
what?
mean,
Yeah, always. I mean, like it
no
took a
matter
while.
what.
It took a while for teams to do that. Like, teams didn't start deferring, I feel like, until like 4 or 5 years ago. There was for a long
Mhm.
time, teams used to elect to receive everything, and my Madden brain was like, "Why are you doing that? Like, why are we not? Why are you not getting the ball in the second half?" But uh,
Oh.
yeah, like you said though, a few minutes ago, like the end game, the end of that game really did salvage it, because it was not a very like super entertaining, fun football game for a while there.
Yeah, I mean, like we watched the end of the golf in the first half instead. Like we were doing the flip back and forth, and like during Super Bowl, you don't really flip back and forth. Now, granted, there was a local Canadian who we had met before, and a good UW boy who was at the top of the leaderboard in a pseudo fifth major at Waste Management there. But I would never be the guy to turn off football to watch golf in my life, even if that was the circumstance. And we were flipping back and forth. And our loudest cheers in the first half were in the direction of Nick Taylor, opposed to the football game. Now that changed in the end because it turned out to be a good game. What'd you think of the halftime show? You and I, different palettes in the music spectrum and
Yeah.
whatnot. But I grew up in that Usher era. I grew up. I know all the tracks. I know all the whatever. But you probably could guess my take on the halftime performance. What was yours?
Well, I almost want my take on this to be in response to yours. However, I will say my take was it started off a little shoddy, and it wasn't Usher's fault. They had that stupid Xbox 360 mic on them. We need to hear Usher's voice. Like, yeah, he can dance his ass off, and that's good. We want to see that, but like, give this man a microphone
Mhm.
and let him belt. That's what I want to hear. I
Yeah.
think it got better. It was sort of like the game itself. Started off a little shady. I
Mhm.
love the Cirque du Soleil stuff, like very Vegas, like very busy. That's how it should have been. Poor Alicia Keys did not get off to a great start either. A little voice
Yeah.
crack right off the rip, but
But hey, you know what, Des? At least I
She was
respect.
looking fine though. I'll tell you that, man. Wee!
she is aged like all the nice red wines in the cupboard over there.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know. I loved all the memes of like Swiss Beats getting getting mad at Usher for his like provocative dancing and stuff like that.
He's Usher gets everybody in trouble for that.
Yeah, actually, this is low key. His roller skating moves were legit. His roller skate, like he actually looked like he could skate a little bit. Like I was pretty impressed there, with that. But like we know he's like great dancer, great performer, that sort of thing. It was very like breathy and not singing and missing like. And I'm old school in my performances that I love live vocals. I love people attempting to sing, but then that's what you get is you get Alicia Keys, one of the best, singers on planet Earth, missing a voice crack note to kick it off. And you got to live with that if you go the live route. So I respect her for actually singing and not singing over a voiceover, but both right. Yeah. My apology. America got
Yo, a lot of hips were from Usher. He's not wrong.
Luda with the fro. Yeah. I mean, Luda's had the fro for 25 years now. Lil Jon saved it, said no one ever. That's incredible. Lil Jon been cashing checks for 20 years with the same 5 lines.
Lil Jon's on like HGTV now and shit. Like he's so like he's mainstream now. He's boomer America now. It's kind of wild how he made that transition. I did not have Jermaine Dupri on my bingo card though. And what the hell was dude wearing?
Did you see the tweet after that when I saw was I didn't know CeeLo Green was gonna show up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people thought that at first. Like CeeLo, oh, that is Jermaine Dupri's voice. Y'all know who this is.
Oh man,
took a minute. I was damn it! I did the white person.
He's part of a great throwback song though. Welcome to Atlanta. Great. Oh yeah,
where the players play.
Oh yeah, great track. Yeah, I don't know. The more we talk about it, the more I'm like, okay, there was something to like. Maybe I got to go back and listen to it a bit. But when it started, I was like,
no, it got off to a bad start. It got off to a bad start for sure. I don't think anybody would disagree with you there. But yeah, I think you painted the whole performance with that brush.
Yeah, that's fair. Did you think the same thing that everyone I was hanging out with was, oh my God, they're ruining the field when it started? Because like you're so accustomed to seeing a stage that covers the field or they put tarps down or whatever. And next thing you know, it was like a walking performance. Like it moved out and he moved from one stage to the other and he's just like dancing on the grass and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, watch out. He's electric sliding on the 50-yard line right now.
I honestly didn't think that. What I did think was like, oh my God, this stage is going to collapse because when they're all jumping, like you could see the stage giving. And I'm sure that was by structural design, but I was definitely like, oh boy, are we gonna see a stage collapse? Because that would be like, I hope everyone's okay, but that'd be kind of funny.
Oh man, hey Neumy, the Usher's my era, man. I'm not that old. Like Usher was like my jam here. This is not the this is not the boomer take.
He made up for it. I thought the set list was great. I mean, Usher's what's the word? A discography, a catalog is just so deep that he could have went on for forever, but Caught Up and everything all the throwbacks that he played was just like so good.
Boo.
Ooh, so good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The only thing could have possibly made it better is if Ja Rule just found his way out there. That era. That era peak Ja Rule.
That really was. Yeah, he fits right in there.
Yeah, Nelly coming out there to mix in. Nez, why don't we talk a little hoops here? Is there anything else you want to talk about? Tie a bow on the big game. Anything else you want to say?
No, I don't think so. Good game. Congrats to everybody that won in the playoff contests. Yeah, I love this hoop slate, so I'm ready for a transition.
All right. Yeah, I mean, Mahomes super deserving of Super Bowl MVP. Question mark? Yeah.
Oh yeah. It kind of had to be. It
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah, 300 yards, 2 scores, the crazy cross body throw to McCole Hardman to start the game early there before the Pacheco fumble. Then just like the design read on that last play. I mean, that was a really good play design to get to McCole. I mean, just so funny that like we go
I
to the
know.
Super Bowl and MVS touchdown, Juwan Jennings passing touchdown, Juwan Jennings receiving touchdown, McCole Hardman touchdown. Like that's our Super Bowl, baby. Like it's just so beautiful and sick.
I love it, man. I love it. All the dust balls that you needed at the end of gauntlets got home. It was.
Yeah. Knew me onto something here. Taylor Swift's first time in the Super Bowl, rookie season, coveted rookie season to make it to the Super Bowl and win. Unbelievable.
I'm
We're
no
done
no
with her.
nothing to say. Absolutely nothing to say.
All right, let's jump in here. Let's jump into the hoop streets a bit here. We got a 100K contest today, Nez. Love to see that 10 game slate in the association. Not a ton of like the Q tag. Okay, so I'll say this, like just like from a macro perspective, I think this week is going to be pretty cut and dry with rest, and I think it's a good week to play hoops because we have the All-Star break for everyone. So I think some players will be more inclined to play back-to-backs this week. I think people will play through Q tags more so than under normal circumstances. That being said, everything is contextually appropriate. Like I don't think Hartenstein plays today because I think he's actually hurt, and that looked kind of bad. But like I think just like as a overarching narrative for this week in the hoop slate, that's where I'm at. Do you agree with anything that I just said?
Macro wise, yeah, I think with the All-Star break, you can sort of, like you said, just plan on guys playing more likely to play than usual because we have that built-in break. I'm not looking forward to the All-Star break. That's going to be a big time sad period for everybody
Yeah.
when that finally hits. But I'm not planning on Hartenstein playing today either. I mean, that Achilles has been a problem for him. I didn't actually see the latest injury, but it just seems like, they're so damn banged up and, he's been so important for them. I don't know why they would really rush him back, but we'll see. But I would venture that he doesn't play. And even if he does play, he's not necessarily like, hey, gotta mix this guy in the 6-person drafts because it's a 10-game slate. And we got some big time totals on the slate as well.
Love it. Do you want to start with the game environments or do you want to start with some ADP and some player specific stuff?
I guess like, I think maybe game environments, because then that kind of like begets into the ADP itself. Because I mean, dude, there are just so many fun games today.
Okay.
On paper.
Let's do it.
Till the blowouts happen.
Yeah. We got one of the classic pace up spots in traditional memory here, but these teams look very different than the last time in which they would have met in Pacers Hornets. Here, Hornets basically completely revamped rotation. Miles Bridges' minutes stayed similar. Brandon Miller kind of took a little bit of a hit at the expense of like Grant Williams coming in and whoever else, Trey Mann, Seth Curry. Yeah, Trey Mann played some big minutes his first time out there. What are your thoughts? This game environment, and then Pacers side, I should say, obviously without Healed, some of the other guards, auxiliary guards, looking a little bit better. Not sure we'll get to them in the 6-person, but Hallie's got the Q tag. Hallie had the minutes limit and evergreen statement that Pacers Q tags are created a little bit different than every other team's Q tags.
Right. Nobody on the Pacers that I'm getting to outside of Halliburton and Siakam. I think Miles Turner, I'm not doing Miles Turner on a 10-game slate. I barely do Miles Turner when I have to, whenever he's in the top 36. So Siakam, I think, is like really interesting today. We haven't seen like that awesome game from him, and so it doesn't make him like super fun to click. But I mean, against the Hornets, man, how do you not want to at least get some of him? And Hallie is like has a very wide range of outcomes today because like we're still not sure what's going on with this minutes limit, but I don't see any way that Halliburton has less than, like 30 something fantasy points today with double digit assists to be a big part of that. So I am taking Hallie today, but depending on where you're looking at projections, he's not necessarily popping, so to speak, compared to ADP. So I think his ADP is pretty solid. And then Hornets side, big time into Miles Bridges today. That's really it. I don't really trust Brandon Miller with this like new look Hornets. I don't think they need him to do as much as he was doing pre-trade deadline.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Stochastic had Hallie popping like quite a bit and like in their like top 8 or whatever, and then they updated and moved him down. Hallie came up to 30 minutes their last game. Not sure they need him to play 30 against the Hornets tonight when they're 10-point favorites in a spot where they should crush. I have a little more love for Miles Turner, largely just because Jalen Smith's been ruled out already. And we have Q tag on Isaiah Jackson, or maybe it was probable tag, something like that. Either way, Isaiah Jackson's going to play 14 minutes at the 5. I just think without the third center in on certain nights, Miles Turner can find his way to 28, 32, something like that minutes easier than on other circumstances where he's kind of capped at that like 25, 26. So pace up environment, centers versus the Hornets, that narrative. I could see myself mixing some Miles Turner in the 6, but you're right. It's pretty thin. This game is basically Hallie, Bridges, and then maybe some 6th-round flyers.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Because there's a lot. There's a lot on this slate.
Sixers and Cavs next. You alluded to in a tweet earlier today that Donovan Mitchell has similar projections in the Pick'em lobby as Brandon Ingram. It was Brandon Ingram, right?
It was indeed Brandon Ingram, which like I don't know what I was more shocked of, that they were so close, for that Brandon Ingram projects as well as he does. It's like, so Brandon Ingram projects for 36.5 PRA.
Yep.
Mitchell projects for 37.5, and they have and Brandon Mitchell Brandon Ingram projects for 12.5 boards and assists. Donovan Mitchell projects for 11 boards and assists. So they are incredibly similar in these pick'em projections, but other projection model sources, whatever you want to use, will have a pretty large disparity, as they should, of Mitchell greater than Ingram. So what do we, I guess it's like, what do we do based on this information? Is it like a fade Ingram and Pick'ems day? Is it a go higher in Mitchell day in Pick'ems because you think that, what is wrong here? Is it ADP? Is it the Pick'ems? I just found it to be pretty interesting. My opinion is that I would take hires on Mitchell because I think that the Sixers are a pretty fun team to target, even though the Cavs are like not a great team for fantasy. But it's not often that you see a Cavs game with a 230 total. I would probably go say, hey, based on this, like Mitchell is undervalued in pick'ems. It would be my takeaway there, but it's fun to just like throw that out there and be like, hey, like, what do you, good engagement.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Because you're right. There's so many narratives to take that in opposite directions. That could mean like in the draft games, full fade Donovan Mitchell because you get the same projection from Brandon Ingram late. But I don't think that was your intentions in saying so. So good for articulating it there. A little more usage being taken away from the Kelly Oubres, from the Tobias Harris, etc., with Buddy Hield now in the fold, with Campaign now in the fold. I think Campaign is like a straight backup one to Tyrese. But Harris has the Q tag today. Yep. Midday Q. We've dealt with this in the past, but it had always been for illness. And today I do not believe, let me confirm, it is left hip impingement. So
ouch.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened last game with Tobias that led to that, but just, I don't know. Does that make you want to get to Maxey more? Does that make you want to just kind of play this game at ADP and move on? Is there anyone, 6th round Kelly Oubre, 6th round Paul Reed? Are we falling for those traps?
I don't think so, just because of the matchup. But like the Underdog news blurb, I think is hilarious. They say, Harris questionable, they're banged up, and then the final piece of this paragraph: Tyrese Maxey would likely record astronomical usage if Harris were to miss. He already leads all regulars with a 30% usage rate when Embiid is out. In 2 games without both Embiid and Harris, Maxi's usage rate pushes up to 32%. It's pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy. I think Maxi's ADP is pretty appropriate. He goes in a range when we get into ADP where there's like 10 guys that I think you can make an argument at any point after the first, or that 1-2 turn there. Yeah, I think it's Maxi only for me though. TLDR.
Okay.
From the
Okay.
Sixers side.
And then Cavs side there, do we still have a little bit of the minutes restriction on Mobley and Garland? Jared Allen goes every single draft as always. What are you doing with those auxiliary pieces of the Cavs? Are they guys you're looking to get over the field on?
I think Mitchell, I need to work in some more Mitchell. I don't want to be like, right now I'm extremely light on Donovan Mitchell because I am way overweight Victor Wembanyama, but I want to get more Mitchell in this matchup. Like, I don't really care. Like I said, like note of the projections and stuff, and Wemby's ceiling I think is obviously higher than Mitchell. Maybe it's not obvious. Maybe that's just my opinion, but yeah, Mitchell and then Jared Allen. Evan Mobley could run pure as hell like he has been, but I like Jared Allen against Paul Reed. I'm not sure like what the numbers say about Paul Reed as a defender, but my brain says that, Paul Reed is nothing to be scared of in the post.
I think your brain's correct on that one. I mean, he looks pretty soft. I'm not going to lie. Like, he just doesn't look like an aggressive rebounder. And like, this is all purely anecdotal. This is purely like my bro science of just like watching him is like, he looks pretty effing passive for a 5.
He's no Jalen Duren.
No, absolutely not. He is no Andre Drummond 2.0. What did you call him? Dwight, or you called him Dwight Howard?
Prime Dwight
Howard.
Dude, I mean, God, dude, absolute snatchery out there from him.
I want to skip this game just for 1 second because I know you really like an aspect of it. I want to go to the Spurs one because you said you were way overweight Wemby in this one. Projection models will have like Wemby and Donovan Mitchell like fractions of points apart. It's interesting that this would be a spot that you get overweight to Wemby because the Raptors were very, very soft against opposing rebounding 5s. They were very bad in recent memory. But then now Pirtle's back, and our guy Jake Puddle went to work, took down and broke, I guess it was Friday night slate. Maybe my days are mixed up. Friday night slate with like a 65 burger, almost 20 rebounds, like this sort of thing. This seems to me like grown-ass man at the 5 in a revenge game versus the rookie they replaced him with. I'm going to put this kid on skates. I'm going to put him to work. I'm going to body him up. This feels like a sunning to me of Wemby from our guy Jake Puddle. That's what I saw. Why are you so bullish on Wemby?
Well, the Pirtle call is fantastic. I think he's definitely worthy of 6-round flyers. There's a lot of guys worthy of that, but Pirtle in the full court press is like a must. I think he's the post like pick 34 ADP sorting is just like hilarious. And I think that if you have like any like modicum of ball knowledge, just set ranks 1 through 60 and get in the full court press, because I do think that it can be very advantageous for those type of people. Now, Wemby side, it's just like, these are my Raptors, man. These are my Raptors. I target teams against the Raptors every single slate. It's what I do. And now we have Wemby, who projects for the highest PRA that I've seen Wemby project for, I think, this season at 36 and a half. On top of the fact that this dude has a median outcome of like 3 stocks, potentially more stocks to come from Wemby today. If he exceeds those 3 stocks, gives you like 30 PRA. I mean, dude, Wemby could have just that Wemby game that we've been waiting for because he's been kind of stinking it up lately. So I pulled back on the aggressive stance on Wemby because people are seeing his box score, not necessarily looking at his projection and not wanting really any part of that. So you can get Wemby paired with Donovan Mitchell rather than like taking Wemby and having no shot at Donovan Mitchell. To me, it just really seems like that ultimate ceiling projection spot for Wemby that I want to be overweight on.
Okay. Yeah, I respect it. Yeah. And as you alluded to, stocks per game, I just looked this one up. 4.3. I mean, that is otherworldly for a guy who can also, score 20 plus and get 10 boards at the rate in which he does in low minutes.
A few
We
things.
haven't even seen. Yeah.
Yeah, a few things here. One, that 4.3. That's a whole 12 fantasy points for us. That's major.
Uh-huh.
Two, these X Muse accounts are just like hilarious. Did you know there's a Xavier Tillman Muse? A Xavier Tillman Muse exists out there. This is like a whole nother level of unemployment out there for the Twitter accounts. Three, I needed to take a quick break because this comment has like all my attention here of
Uh-huh.
GA asking if you've ever taken a clapper on an empty net.
Oh,
A
this is
slap shot being called a clapper.
oh yeah, that it's a clap daddy, big
That's
clapper,
killing me.
clapper chopped cheese.
Take a clapper on an empty net there, Johnski.
Yeah, this is in reference to a
I saw
incident that
that.
happened on Saturday night where I can't even remember who the player was. Someone from Ottawa. It was a 4-3 game. They pull the goalie. He goes down, and he knew exactly what he was doing. Kind of like a look back, then takes a clapper on the empty net, and then Morgan Riley goes full puck bro on him and cross checks him in the head because it's the disrespect associated with it. No, GA, I am the guy who cross checks the other guy in the head for showing that sign of disrespect. The man that I am with these old boomer takes now just put that into baseball and hockey terms. And that was the player I was growing up and to some extent still is. Like actually, we played this team that on Saturday night there, we ran out of gas. We were old boys and we were playing 9 guys versus 9 guys and they were like all 21 through 23, just finished playing junior, some of them still in school. And we were all has-beens of like, mid 30s and whatever. And we were up 3-1 going into the third, and we got 10-minute third because the ice time was coming to a close. And we're like, oh, perfect, we'll grind this out. And they scored 5 goals in like 4.5 minutes on us.
Oh,
and
no.
we were, oh my God, like this sort of thing. And then some kid tried a little cheeky shit now that they're up like that. And one of our guys just wasn't having any of it. No respect for, he tried to do a little Michigan and behind the net, pick it up like this. He fumbled it, and our guy just ran him the fuck over and was like, "No, son, you do not do that in this league versus us versus that whatever." It was good. It was good.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm old school like that. I like you go fastball high and tight, whatever. You hit my guy, I hit your guy. This is not a shocking take from me.
No, it's not.
All right. Anyways. Anything left to say? Raptors, Spurs, Scotty Barnes, ADP kind of frothy. Never. I'm team never Scotty. Point Scotty dead to me. This looks like a good matchup. This looks like a great spot that Scotty could do some work. I'm not touching it, Nez. I'm not touching it.
Yeah, I think this is something where, I think I would ignore the projections on this. Like projections are, and this will no doubt be the day that this, like the projections come to fruition. But
yeah,
every single day, models are telling you draft Emmanuel quickly ahead of ADP, draft Emmanuel quickly ahead of ADP. And all he does is give us sub 30 fantasy points. And I'm tired of it. I'm sick of this shit. What you do is like a Chad, you draft RJ Barrett and you draft Jakob Poeltl. That's what you do instead.
Okay.
That's what we're doing.
I like it. No, I respect the hell out of that. That's exactly kind of like going to be my approach. I'm limited volume today. Admittedly, I'll probably get 30 or 40 in, but I basically will be fading Scotty at ADP, despite the fact that he projects well and the spot looks good on paper. I've seen enough, man. It's my IKB spot of the day. Let's move into your IKB spot of the day. And I think that's cover boy Kobe White here. That one was one that you got me on here. The flow chart, Nez, is that what we're talking here on the Atlanta side? What's the mindset here?
Yeah, definitely. Just, we love when Atlanta's on the slate, and we love when teams face Atlanta, especially teams that are typically slow pace, such as the Bulls that have been playing nothing but like 200 point fantasy point totals, 210 point totals. Now we get him at 238 spot, and Kobe White, probable tag. He's going to play like 38 minutes. Like it's insane how many minutes Kobe White plays. And this is just the spot. I mean, Kobe White with a 31 ADP playing 40 minutes in a spot where he's going to get a boost to his rates is just like a no-brainer. And I'm getting him in the 5th all day long. Man.
One more thing I'll add to that, especially where the minutes come, is Alex Caruso Q tag right now.
Yep.
So, I mean, his minutes are safe as is. Like, they just run Kobe White. That's what they do. But he plays like 38 to 42. Will you layer on the fact that Caruso might not be there as well? Just gets a little interesting there.
Yeah. For sure.
I,
Vooch has a really high ADP, which sucks because he's coming off that big game, so it's like
Mhm.
kind of warranted. Um, and so does DeRozan. I like all three of those guys, but Kobe's the cheapest, so I'm getting a lot of Kobe. But I want to do a lot of volume today, so I will be mixing in Vooch and DeRozan. I don't want to like full fade those guys, but Kobe far and away my favorite.
Okay, cool. Very interesting from my perspective here, what the teams decide to do at the 5 today. Because we have seen them start Drummond and play Drummond alongside Vooch, and the games in which he does, he gets like 45 fantasy points, right? When he plays like 20 something minutes. But then if he all of a sudden plays 16 minutes and he doesn't start, this looks very different. But I think I would like it more if Clint Capella was available on the Hawks side. He's
Yep.
not going to be, but because it doesn't feel like a spot that they have to go big, and it feels more like a let's both play small on both sides and let's run. But
Yep.
I do think just maybe a nugget in the back of everyone's mind for the next little while here is if the Bulls miss bodies or AKA Caruso doesn't play tonight, they could shift not to putting someone in his spot, but shifting to playing big, putting Drummond in that lineup, playing Vooch alongside Drummond, and he's a fantasy point per minute monster that you'll want exposure to, especially on like 6, 7 game slates where he's available in the 6th round. I probably will mix today, not going to lie, just on the off chance that he does start because it is a very advantageous matchup for the 5 without Capella on the other side. But I don't think it's someone I should get overweight on the field. But that's just kind of my, yeah.
Yeah. No, very well said. In the 6th round, I mean, there's so many options in the 6th round, and these like ceiling games can come from so many different places. I do agree that it does seem like they'll want to play fast and go small, but if they have to, and it's like, hey, Drummond is like our by far like our next best player, like I guess just try to go big, see what happens. He could he could be in for like a monster day potentially if it works. Like if you can get 26 minutes out of Andre Drummond in this matchup and, he gets you like 15 plus boards. I mean, it's like evergreen. I say this every time we have a spot where Drummond could play a lot, but I mean, he's so obviously like, serviceable, maybe even beyond serviceable as a player.
Yeah.
Like,
He's one of those guys where like if he just falls into minutes, you feel warm and fuzzy. Like you know
yeah,
what I
and it's
mean?
against the Hawks. Like why?
Yeah.
I think we should be excited about that and not necessarily bearish, but there are
Mhm.
bear and bull cases to paint for that for sure.
Anything on the Hawks that you're looking to get over the field on? Okongwu had a nice game out last time or the time before that. He had a nice one. Friday, I got over to the field on Sadiq Bey. I thought it was nice little leverage there when Murray didn't look like he was going to play and Jalen Johnson was going so high. Anyone on Atlanta that you want to kind of have exposure to this game environment through?
So far, I don't really have a lot of Atlanta
Okay.
necessarily. Just as far as like my exposures go, yeah, only like 4 Trae Young shares out of 46 teams, and looks like an Okongwu share in a full court press. Um, yeah, it's weird because I mean, like it's the Hawks, and this is a 238 total, but ADP adjusted. A lot of these guys aren't like calling my name now. On the flip side, like I mentioned with the Kobe White stuff, I'm at 67% Kobe White, and that's
Oh
through
wow.
46.
Nice. Good. I like the aggressive stand. It looks like a great spot, man. We talk about guards versus the Hawks, like especially if Caruso misses. Like I like it, man. I like it. The
Hmm.
minutes will be there. Circle your calendar. Low key game here with Bucks Nuggets. Maybe not for fantasy purposes, but just this classic Giannis versus Joker. Bucks finally got that W that they were so craving and needing under Doc Rivers there. And yeah, what are you doing with this game? What is there to say outside of the fact that Giannis and Joker go in the top 3, rightfully so?
Yep.
Then what?
Yeah, it's our 102, 103 here. I like Jamal Murray in this spot as well. This total isn't as high as like Bucks games have been in the past, so I don't know if they've like changed up their play style or what's really going on there. But typically, like 2 weeks ago, I would have expected this game to be like a 240 total. Now we're at 231. I still like Jamal Murray in this spot, and I kind of like Dame here as well. I think that his ADP is totally fine, and is good to mix in whenever you see him at the top of your queue. Those four are really it for me in our 36 player drafted contest.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Jamal goes 21st there. And Dame is going what right now? 16. All right. Yeah, Dame coming off the nice game in his first game back in a smash spot there when we talked about flipping the board on Friday, getting overweight the field, moving him to the other side. That aged pretty well because he ended up being in the winning lineup there. So yeah. Any love for Brooke Lopez at all?
Not
Late round?
Not for me. Not for me. There are
Yeah.
just so many options in the sixth that I don't really want to do that. But I'll always remember the night Brooke Lopez put up 50 and just bodied my ass. Never forget.
I low-key like the Dame one, I think.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance. I think KCP still has the Q tag. He missed last game out, and then there was a late scratch in that one as well. Whatever, who cares? They're not really in the player pool for us. But I low-key like the Dame one without Middleton, where you're looking at where's the secondary scoring going to come from. Like Malik Beasley had a big night the other night. I mean, when he gets hot from three, like he can score. But yeah, I think there's probably just like an okay path here to Dame putting up some big time scoring with this is purely narrative based, but what we said about Doc Rivers wanting him to, hey man, remember your Dame Lillard and take over, and they're missing secondary scoring right now in Middleton. I mean, Jay Crowder's not going to give you much of that. It feels like he should kind of just take over a couple times here.
Yeah, I can see it, man. I'm not really stressing the perimeter defense of the Nuggets.
Okay. Sounds good. Next one here, Grizz and Pelicans. Grizz still, missing so many bodies, still low-key awful. But Jaren Jackson Jr. is back. Had a decent game last time out, but somehow had no stocks. Very un-Jaren Jackson Jr. like. Comes back and he puts up like 20-something, gets a couple rebounds, and it's like, oh, baby, we're cooking. And then he doesn't, I think maybe 0 stocks, maybe 1 stock on the night. Anyways, we got the Zion Q tag with the foot contusion, same left foot, same contusion, same whatever. He played through it versus the Lakers, didn't play through it versus Portland. Does this feel like Zion plays tonight, or is this another opportunity to get him some rest?
Oh, he's gonna play tonight, I think, and even if he doesn't, man, he's a 6th-round pick more often than not, depending on your room. I mean, Zion Q tag in the 6 is just like evergreen smash. I got 54% Zion through 46 right now. Feeling really good about that against the Grizzlies, man. If Zion is playing, I mean, yeah, maybe Jaren Jackson gets a couple blocks here and there, but like, who's got the body to stop Zion? I mean, the way that they've been using Zion lately is like, it's super fun. Point Zion. He's been like the focal point of the offense. I mean, he was dicing up the Lakers like crazy, man. Finishing like, I mean, he's always been a super efficient finisher, but Zion is, I don't think anybody's getting in his way tonight if he does end up playing. Lower total, but that's just because the Grizzlies don't have anybody that can really score. But low key, man, Vince Williams in the 6 can get a click from me. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, Vince Williams in the 6 as a little contrarian, high usage guy there. Yeah, I like it, Nez. I think the Zion play is pretty sharp. I think if he plays, it's a great spot. If he doesn't, you get the swap. That's great. And they're low key, like as you alluded to, they're using the 5 as a traditional 5 spot, and they're not really playing Zion at the 5 anymore. And they're using split rotation between Vooch and Larry Nance Jr. And then they're going, hey, big boy point with Zion, and it is very good for his ability to score fantasy points in his memory. Our guy Chip here, resident hoops expert, saying that every Q tag will play tonight and he'll eat this message if they do not. So look forward to the potential of him eating this digital encrypted message in the near future.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Anything else you want to say about this game in general?
Not really. I mean, BI is at the 26 ADP, and like I mentioned, his PRA and projections are just like not really lining up.
Okay.
So like there's something's got to give there. I like BI, man. If I wasn't so
He showed
overweight
that
Zion,
ceiling
I'd
the
have
other
more
night.
BI. Dude, I love BI. Like he just
Yeah.
these my Pelicans, dude. Ingram's nice, man. He's nice. This could be his night instead.
He's better Mikal Bridges. That's what he is.
Yeah. I
You don't like
mean,
the comp?
I just like offensively for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. He showed that ceiling the other night there where he scored almost 30 in the quarter. Is that what it was? In the third quarter on Thursday night or something like that?
Just demolished them. It was insane.
Knicks, Rockets, lowest total on the slate, which is low-key surprising given the quote-unquote talent in this game. But we're dealing with some interesting stuff. Knicks rotation, I have no idea what to make of it, especially if Hartenstein and Jericho Sims miss tonight. This could be a Taj Gibson starts or they play really small. I have no idea what's going to happen. Have we seen a game with Bogdanovich and Alec Burks on the team yet? Nick, let me know if we have. I didn't look.
I think last game. Yeah, I saw Winky. Yeah. Shout out Winky. Winky Christ did a thread or a long form tweet on the debuts of players, and I think Boyan and Burks were both included in that, and they didn't do shit.
Okay.
But
yeah, here you go.
Back.
But yeah, Big Fudge is saying like Boyan 35 plus minutes, absolutely in the range outcomes, especially if the centers miss there. And then Brunson, highest, higher, lower on the slate for points. Yeah, that's it feels good, man. It feels good. Yeah, no Fred VanVleet on the other side. Sengun missed last game, still has the Q tag there. Sengun not one for missing time either. So it's a very interesting spot in general. I mean, maybe you move Precious to the 5, start Boyan if Hartenstein can't go. I'm kind of on the fence that I kind of think Hartenstein doesn't play tonight. And then this could just be like Brunson 45 minutes, old school Tibbs just go out there and score, young man.
That doesn't include Luka in that.
What? In the point total?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
jump in the lobby and tell me.
Brunson is second though, which is wild, and it's against the Rockets.
Checks out. That checks out to me.
Yeah.
30.5. What's Luka?
It opened at 33.5. Holy shit. Luka's at 32.
32.5.
That must have got pounded down.
There you go. Interesting. Okay. Anything from this game environment? Do you think Sengun plays? Are you trying to get overweight Brunson? What do you like?
I'm hoping Sengun plays because I have 52%.
Ooh, daddy.
Yeah, very, 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 very high on him right now. You can get him at ADP still. As more and more people upload projections, it's not going to be the case. So really wanted to get that at cost. But especially if no Hartenstein, that just makes him, I think, just a really, really nice play against these banged up Knicks. So like Sengun today, the rest of the Rockets I'm having trouble on, but I think you can mix in Amen Thompson in the 6th, but Jalen Green, I would not chase that in the 6th. And then Nick's side, of course, we like Brunson. And I think Precious can get it in the 6th and Dante as well in the 6th.
Yep. I like it. I like where your head's at there. I think Precious would be a nice click late because as Nick's alluding to in the chat here, I'm in lockstep with him that they would start Taj Gibson, but then they would shift to slightly smaller and Precious would be a pseudo 5. You could see the other side too. If Sengun doesn't go, I mean, Jock Landale had some nice games last year, primarily in the postseason with Phoenix as a backup 5, but you could see them giving 30 minutes to Uncle Jeff and then give me that Precious versus Jeff Green matchup. I think that'd be a good shout in the 6th round there. Okay, cool. But as for now, you're on team Sengun plays hoops.
I am, and I certainly hope so.
Okay, cool. I low-key like this one, and I might be stupid. I want to make sure that actually hold on one second.
You're talking Wiz Mavs?
Yeah, but I'm gonna pick a dumpster diver play for you.
Okay.
Let me see here. All right. Okay, cool. Reverse flow chart, Nez. Reverse flow chart. Why did we used to attack Washington fives?
Come on, man.
Daniel Gafford. Why?
Come on, man.
What five is going to attack Daniel Gafford tonight in this fugazi of a revenge game? Marvin Bagley.
Come on,
Marvin
man.
Bagley gonna play big minutes tonight. He might be more of a redacted play. I like Marvin Bagley in a vacuum. He's probably not 6-round viable here.
He's got a better projection than Paul Reed, so I'll give you that much.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I wish this was a smaller slate because I would love to give me some Daniel Gafford against the Wiz because he really does seem like a little bit of a missing piece there for these Mavericks. Like, especially once they get Lively back in there as well. Man, I think that the Mavericks. I mean, I know we said this in the trade deadline show, but love these moves that they made, man. I really do think that they like. I mean, defensively,
we were low-key on an island there, Nez. People didn't really like the PJ Washington trade.
Interesting. I don't know, man. I think
really liked it.
I thought that and Gafford did a lot for them. I mean, you know, they're going to have to outscore teams. I mean, I know that's how you win basketball games by scoring more than the other team, but you might as well just try to just like literally outscore them. And they're very well set up to do that right now. I think that this is a really smart move for them. And this game should be awesome. Luka, obvious 101 in my opinion.
Okay.
Kyrie is in an awesome, it could also do his damn thing as well. I don't know that I want to draft them together on Underdog, but you don't see Irving a ton on the board whenever you're up at the 2-3 turn when you have Luka, but I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world to do, but it feels bad. Kuzma on the Wizards side, totally draftable, 20-something ADP right now against the Mavericks, I think makes a lot of sense. Not fading that. I do like your Bagley call, but like I can't do it in the sixth in these contests. Maybe full court press. And even Gafford's hard to trust on the Mavs side. So really it's just like Luka, Kyrie, and Kuzma. And I love all three of them, to be honest.
All right, cool. Heard it here first. Love it. Next spot is Warriors Jazz. Clay missed a game in there somewhere. Warriors are pretty widely distributed in recent memory. Like they're playing like good basketball, but like from a fantasy standpoint, Steph stood out a little bit for a couple nights there. But when everybody's healthy and everything's going for this team, I find it really hard to pinpoint usage or matchups that I really like. So for me, it's kind of like, Kuminga, Steph, and Draymond always in play, but I'm never really trying to get excited and get over on it. Steph has just been hot. And, if Steph kills me on certain nights, Steph's just going to kill me.
Yeah, man. This seems like the spot that, I wouldn't want to fade Steph. This is, get Steph against the Jazz. It seems like any teams that play against the Jazz just shoot like 75%. I've never seen a Jazz game. I've never watched a minute of the Jazz game and seen a team miss a shot. I mean, it's just balls just find their way through the net against the Jazz. Love Steph tonight, and Kuminga in the sixth. And I mean, dude, I don't think Draymond has the ceiling for the sixth, but full court press Draymond feels really good. Kuminga in the sixth is really sneaky in my opinion. I mean, because he's got these two kind of clunkers in his last three in the box scores when you expand them on Underdog. So Kuminga in the sixth, I think he can really fill it up against the Jazz. And then
how much of that coincided with Wiggins playing well though?
True.
So like Wiggins is back. Wiggins starts. Wiggins plays well, and they kind of go away from the lineup that was working, early in the year. And then this is kind of like the new starting one that they like, but the usage funnels to Wiggins instead of Kuminga on the offensive end.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. That's what's worrisome is like Kuminga's role is certainly fragile, right? Like depending on the ebbs and flows of the team. Now Klay Thompson is back too, kind of throws a wrench in there. But I still think Kuminga has like a ceiling that like in the six, like he's going to be way underdrafted. That he presents like some pretty strong leverage in this slate.
Cool.
Jazz. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, let's just gonna move to Jazz as well. There, I was our guy Walker Kessler finally back starting, played 27 minutes last night, or not last night, the other night, and he puts up 40 something fantasy points because that's what he's prone to do when he's getting boards and living at the rim. He's a stock guy too, so low key, slightly better Brooke Lopez play tonight in Walker Kessler.
I think Walker Kessler is absolutely in 6th-round territory because they're just like, there's so many there's so many options in the 6. Like there's so many options that guys are going to get overlooked big time, and Walker Kessler is one of them. Now I'm not saying you need to stake your entire night on Walker Kessler in the 6th, but we've been waiting patiently for the Walker Kessler, like, hey, like, welcome to the 23-24 season, and it's here. Yeah, and like Blake said, no Kelly O there, so there's like who's taking the minutes from Kessler as a true 5. I mean, Collins isn't a true 5; he plays big, but yeah, Nick knows. Dude, Kessler in the 6, I think is a lot of fun.
Cool.
Like I said, don't go crazy on that, but he's not going to be drafted like at at a 16% clip by the field.
Yeah, I mean, you heard it here first, guys. Andre Drummond in the 3rd, Bagley in the 4th, Walker Kessler in the 5th, and we got all the stock kings lined up there. Anyone other than Markkanen that should be going in the top 36?
Probably not. No, I don't think so. And Markkanen is,
never Markkanen until it's Markkanen night.
I know, man. He's pricey, but this seems like a spot where you just kind of sprinkle a little bit in because when Markkanen night hits, he hits.
Yeah, I mean, like he's always the guy that's going to be projected worse than his ADP is, and I mean that's low key like Steph a little bit too. And then there's the one night where he goes off for it all, and that's the spot. I don't think this is the spot for it, to be honest. Like just you could spin zone it, that you get old school Warriors night like Steph had against the Pacers the other night, and he's just filling it up, and that makes the game faster, and Markkanen can cook. But I don't know, Wiggins low-key decent defender, and I imagine he gets some of that, or he gets some of Draymond. So that doesn't feel like a spot where I want to be overweight Laurie.
I'm with you, man. I'm not gonna have like hardly any Laurie, but I'm scared.
Okay. Low-key good basketball game here between T-Wolves. Maybe not low-key, maybe high-key. Two teams sitting, near the top of the West there in Clippers T-Wolves. Not a great fantasy matchup, not a fun fantasy game, but all these pieces get drafted in some combination. Are you staying clear here, Nez, or do you just have to eat some of these pieces because there's so much talent in this basketball game?
Yeah, let's think about this for a minute. This, I would venture to guess, has the most drafted players in the main slate out of all these games, and it's got by far one of the lowest totals on the slate.
Got the second lowest total on the slate behind only the Knicks Rockets game.
Yeah, and I mean it features Gobert, who doesn't do a lot of usage, so I mean it makes sense why he can squeeze his way in there, but with like Kawhi, Paul George, and Harden, man, Harden has a really strong projection tonight too, which is like really throwing me for a pretzel because I hate when the Timberwolves are on the slate.
Right? Yeah,
I just hate it.
Best defensive matchup. It's going to be slow. It's going to be you have no idea where the ball distribution is going to go from the Clippers side, even on a good night.
Yeah, so we're looking at Kawhi, borderline 1st-round pick. Or maybe he's more like 2-3 turn right now, and then Ants 2-3 turn. Cat sometimes Cat goes undrafted, but he's going really late. It's just like I don't have any goddamn leans here, man. I mean, like if anything, I think I kind of like Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
I think I would prefer teams against the Clippers a little bit more than I prefer teams against the T-Wolves. So I kind of like Ant, kind of like Kawhi, but it does seem like a fun and good night to take guys that go after them ahead of them.
Yep, I agree with you there. I think this would probably be my number one fade spot of the day, like just in general. All these ADPs just seem like we're drafting name value. We're not drafting the matchup. Do all of them have ceilings in which they can pop and break a slate from their given ADPs? Absolutely. Because on a good night in a good matchup, Harden should be going in like the top 15. Same with Ant, same with Cat, same with whatever. It feels like such a bad spot to get overweight any of them.
Mm-hmm. It does. So, yeah, I think that's the key is like, mix them in if, depending on your volume, but I can't imagine any of these guys being like absolute must haves. And if they are, rip me.
GG's. GG's.
Fuck.
All right. Any other players you want to mention at ADP or we can talk through during a draft here? I think Miles Bridges just routinely is going to pop in projections comparative to his ADP. That's been the new norm. Yeah. So if you want to push him over this tier, same with Dame. If you want to push him over this tier, I will be pushing Maxey over this tier. Any other players you want to mention, kind of that you're looking to get overweight or are mispriced?
No, I think you really hit on all of them. Like for me, like so many of my teams feature Kobe White, Sengun, Zion, Miles Bridges, Wemby, and like mix and match from there.
Okay.
That's those are my core plays in like a very, very, very major way.
Okay.
And I'm debating on whether or not I want to mix that up. Like I think I want to try something new tonight.
All right. I love it. Yeah, let's go with it.
Put my stones on the table.
Let's do it. I mean, it's the evergreen decision of like, hey, this is a 10-game slate. Is this really the spot that you want to get hyper exploitative? And sometimes the answer is yes.
Yeah, sometimes it can be even more advantageous.
Exactly.
Oh man, yeah, it's scary, but I'm trying not to. I don't really want to auto anything today. I want to try to do it all me. I'm not. I'm looking at projections, but I'm trying to stick with what I feel more than what I'm being told. Easier to live with less volume and more my decisions.
Like it. I respect it, man. IKB versus everything.
Mm-hmm. So you would not take Scotty 5 if we were at the 5 hole.
Nope. Done with Scotty. Let's put Jalen Brunson up there. Let's put Wemby over him.
Brunson.
I think Vooch is too high.
Mm-hmm.
Move Vooch down.
Is Fred VanVleet like a god defensively? Am I like really underrating like what Fred VanVleet does defensively?
We could look him up in terms of like EPM and stuff like that, but I think he's a good perimeter defensive guard. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting for when you given the context of the Knicks offense right now. But Rockets at home, man. Watch out. It's the only place that they win.
Yeah, that's the new meta.
That's the only place that they do well.
I'm an idiot. I'll figure it out after.
Jokic comfortably over Giannis for me in this spot. Just because I respect the game of basketball. Giannis barely plays basketball.
I wonder if that's a Doc thing.
I mean, it's just like it's what he does. He just fullback dive.
Okay, so is this Donovan Mitchell? Is this Jalen Brunson? Or is this Wemby?
I mean, like, if I hadn't looked at projections and pick'ems, I'd say Mitchell. So I think we just do Donovan Mitchell. Against the Sixers, this is probably a good spot.
Okay.
I would think, but I'm normally not one to be overweight Donovan Mitchell, and I won't be. He was the 101 the other night and completely fell on his face. How about that? That was like one of the more like egregious flops of a 101 that I think I've seen this season.
Yeah, for real. I
without
didn't
an
play that
injury.
slate, so
Oh
yeah.
my god, dude. It was insane how badly he flopped. This
Oh,
is
Scotty
great
Barnes
comp
goes
from
there.
Blake.
What do you got?
Giannis is the tush push of the NBA.
That is such a good comp. That is such a good comp.
It's true, man.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it?
That's what Harden used to be. Harden used to
Mhm.
be the tush push because it
Yeah.
was just like get to the rim, throw his arms up. Oh, he gets a foul. He leads the
Yep.
league in free throws every single year. And then there was a step back game off of it, and that was it. And Harden was that guy.
Yep.
Wemby and Brunson go there. That feels like a very nice start, just in general. Kyrie goes. I think for this one, I mean, you could sell me Steph, you could sell me Curry, you could sell me Bridges, you could sell me Maxey.
I think you go Steph, dude.
You think you like Steph more than Trey tonight?
Mm-hmm. I think so. Steph's heating up. Good spot against Utah.
Yeah.
I
mean,
don't
my
know.
thing was my thing with Steph is like he scored 60 the other night and he scores like 70 fantasy points. He scores 30 the other night. He scores 49 fantasy points. He scores 33 the other night. He scores 45 fantasy points. Like the ceiling narrative on Steph in this scoring format is so real, man. Like he needs 45, 5, and 5 to be relevant. And I don't think Steph's getting those 5 and 5s to go alongside his 45.
You're not wrong.
Like
You're not wrong.
We are such a stock heavy format here.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong, but Steph's filling it up tonight, man. Like I said, the rims in Utah are just larger. I don't know what it is. They're more spacious.
Okay. I like it. I mean,
Steph's
the good counter to what I'm saying also is that Trey is the same. You know, like if you're going Trey versus Steph, like the ceiling narrative on the two of them is very similar.
You're playing devil's advocate against yourself.
Right. Yeah.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And you know, in a worse matchup, I would argue, against the Bulls.
Vooch is falling down boards as we kind of anticipated when we were going through that stuff, though it is a nice spot. It's like if Drummond doesn't start and he's the starting 5 against a Kongwu in a pace-up game, Vooch could definitely smash tonight.
Yeah, I think I would like. I don't have him at ADP, but it's only by like a spot or two. You know,
okay.
I mean,
yep.
Let me see where he's like around on ETR. They've got him like they actually have him pretty damn low, so that would explain it. I hope that this keeps up because I do want pick 14 Vooch. That is pick 13, pick 14 Vooch is where I would start to click him, and I'd take him over Maxey, I think.
Okay. My heart says Sengun. My brain says Sengun.
Do it, man. Take Sengun.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about the Dame spot being okay tonight, and I like it more without Middleton around. This next tier, I mean, DeMar, you could sell me DeMar in the matchup anytime.
I know,
but
I do really like DeMar.
Yeah, it's just fucking DeMar, man.
but it's DeMar DeRozan. At the end of the day. I know. The reason I like where we're at taking Sengun is like, you know, these guys are all project really similarly, and like I'm totally fine with whoever we get left with, you know.
Right.
But I don't think Sengun would have been one of them.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think if DeRozan comes back, I'm fine with DeRozan. He does not. I think BI has a little bit of ceiling potential here. I think Markkanen I like.
I'm Jamal here.
You're Jamal?
Mm-hmm.
You like the flow chart, huh? Guards versus Dame?
I've got like 30-something% Jamal Murray.
Okay, good Canadian kid. Don't have to twist my arm. Let's go.
No, it seems like he's the play there. Harden is like a very similar projection to him though, so I wouldn't like fall in love with the flow chart. You know, that's what's like really interesting, right? You have Jamal against the Bucks, who we love, and then Harden against the T-Wolves, and they project like the exact same.
Right.
So
if we start double counting, we get caught with our pants down.
yeah, which like, that's where I really do think these winners lie, is like not being too tethered to a sorting and paying way more attention to like range of outcomes. And yeah, the median projection does not show us the distributions of these range of outcomes, but the fact that they're so damn close tells us that surely that they're not too far off. So,
Okay.
do a little ceiling sorting, do a little median sorting, but more or less speaking to myself here.
Yeah, you're walking your process through in your own mind to get balanced on
Yeah.
Jamal.
Yes. Yeah. Have some James Harden. Have some James Harden. Because
I
I
like this
don't.
comp. Steph is Kyler, where like the ceiling's perceived to be higher than it actually is, and Kyler doesn't run anymore.
I
And
think
I
it's because
still
they're
fall
both
for,
just like too
and
small
they're both little. They're both
that run
little.
fast.
All right. Yeah.
How about that
Embiid's
play?
nice. Okay,
Okay.
Embiid's nice to watch. Embiid's nice to watch. Like the free throws thing, yeah, it can definitely get annoying sometimes. But like when Embiid's on, like he's one of the best mid-range shooters, and that from a big, like little one-step fadeaway stuff from a big from mid-range is like super nice to watch.
I love when we can have our discourse trigger somebody, especially somebody's even keeled as copper. Because that was in response to us saying like Giannis is cheesing free throws. He was so hot because he's a Bucks fan. So I love when we can get somebody triggered. Did you see that pass from Grayson though the other night for Steph to hit the game winner?
No, I didn't know.
Dude, it was like it was a side out pass, and it was against the Suns, and he threw it like just out of reach of Bradley Beal. That like looked like a bad pass, but it was just like perfectly placed bounce pass below where Beal could reach, and then Steph had to kind of like, instead of like catch it here front and like rotate on his right foot, he caught it turn on his left foot and shot instead, and it was just like and drained it. It was a really nice pass, but a lot of debate on whether or not it was a good pass or not. It was a perfect pass.
Okay, I gotta look it up after it.
For me,
let's do it. Yeah, we gotta go with the cover boy here. I don't think there was much discussion there. Cover boy for a reason. We think Big Minutes is coming in. He could fill it up in this matchup, and he's going to give you some multi-category upside.
Yeah, and when you look at his box scores too, it's kind of nice that you were seeing bad scores, from his last few games, and one of them was Orlando.
In quotations, they're still all in the mid 30s and plus.
Right.
Bad scores,
quote unquote. But he does have that nice one against the T-Wolves, which I would have never. That was my one time I was off Kobe. I take Kobe a lot. So yeah, we're waiting for the breakout game tonight. I'm gonna have so much of him, man. I'm gonna have a lot, and it's interesting because the other night, Amin Thompson. It was a smaller slate. Amin Thompson was where Kobe White is. Projects where Kobe White projects, and Amin was getting steamed out of this fucking world and flopped. People are not doing that with Kobe White against the same team that Amin was steamed against. I don't know.
Very interesting. Yeah, good shout. Pascal seems like a tier break, but you could interest me in a scrolling of the F down to anyone if you can sell me.
No, I think it's hard to do anything other than Pascal. Low key, I mean, I didn't mention him when we were talking about the games, but Denny
Avdia.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot.
Yeah.
And I like teams against the Mavs.
Denny Avdia always finds himself to like 40 fantasy point relevancy somehow.
I know.
Whether it's minutes, whether it's multi-category contribution, whether it's like a random like 28 point like scoring game, like it's very interesting. Like he's just kind of like a solid basketball player. Like he's just got 40 points. He's playing big minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just for whatever reason he's like it's like a Greek mythology god he's like Sisyphus, like stuck on the wizards just to like play big minutes. Like free that man.
I think some of it hinges upon like availability of some other guys on his team, like Balil, like why am I blanking on DeLon Wright, like if they want to play small and they put them both on, like I think some of his minutes are like dependent on like matchup and stuff like that. But I think in recent memory now, without Gafford, and they're just kind of like, let's put him out there and play Kuz at the 5 a little bit, is what they were doing when Bagley wasn't playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that Eugene guy that we like.
Eugene, baby.
Yeah. Let's rip one more and then call it, Nez.
Yeah, I'm good for one more.
That was my first
meetings now.
Let's do it. This guy, man, big time in with the meetings.
Oh, dude, it's getting a little too real out here.
Ooh, here we go. A little 23% Danny Avia tonight. I like the stand.
Putting the balls in Johnny basketballs.
Primetime KG asking, like in Mobley tonight. I still foresee a little bit of minutes limit there, and the rotation that they keep running is like him and Garland come off the floor at the same time, and this sort of deal. As decent favorites in that game, I could see them, not playing more than 28, 26, something like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to mix in some Mobley, man, because he's just been like unbelievably efficient. And if he cracks 30 minutes against the Sixers, yeah, he could bury you. It's
a spot you want to be ahead of, kind of like the Hallie one we were talking about, where it's like as soon as that minute limit is lifted and he plays 32, like he's going to cook, especially against like Paul Reed.
Right. It's just like, do they need to? Will they force that? What's it going to take for that to be there? And for whatever reason, it just doesn't feel like the night. But I don't want to full fade Mobley. There's a lot of guys that don't want to full fade. It's tough. It's a tough night, especially when I'm getting all this Zion in the 6th. It doesn't really leave my options open for anybody else. So
fair enough.
I got to figure it out.
Fair enough. Yeah, this is a classic like macro exposures balancing question mark kind of night, opposed to like isolated player takes night. Like Mobley in the last feels good, but he does not feel nearly as good as Point Zion if Point Zion plays.
Exactly. All right, same on, huh?
Yeah, Wemby or Jalen Brunson.
Brunson, because this guy at the end, I think, is going to see Wemby's box scores and go Scotty Barnes, face of the league, and Stephen Curry.
Bullway, baby. Bullway.
What is that?
that Subway commercial.
Oh, Bullway. Sorry.
Bullway.
I was thinking, when I hear that, I think Bull.
Oh, yeah.
It's Bullway. Oh, he went Trae Young, too. All right.
Interesting. He likes that game environment. I respect it. Trae and Steph.
Scotty, no. Victor,
nope. Yeah, Wemby. Yeah, never Scotty. Never Scotty. We're going Wemby.
Gotta be. I was just about to say something. What the fuck was I about to say?
It was probably really smart too.
It was genius. Oh no. If you were an announcer and you're calling Suns games, and because Bull is a Sun, right?
I think so.
Is he not?
I think he moved because he got some minutes the other night for somebody else. I didn't think it was the Suns though. I think he was a Sun last year.
Yeah, he's a Sun. Yeah, he's a Sun now.
He's a Sun this year? Okay. No, I trust you. I don't remember.
You're commentating. You're commentating a game and Sir Bull is on the court. How are you like addressing him if he gets like a rebound?
I think you say his full name. You say Bull, right?
You have to say Bull.
You can't just say Bull.
They were calling him just Bull.
No, that's bizarre. You gotta go Bull.
He's Bull. You can't just call the dude Bull.
No,
it was so it was like jarring. It really irked me whenever I was watching him on in that broadcast. I'm like, Bull? You mean Bull? Like, sure, just say Bull. It's better.
Prep Boy asking if it's dumb to take BI with 6 rounds Zion. I do not think so. I think their ceilings, from a correlation pattern, their ceilings will be slightly hampered and slightly muted, but I think there's definitely a path, especially the way I would say maybe like a month ago, that it would have more negative correlation than it does now. If you get Point Zion and you get like a little bit of distribution and stuff, I think this relationship works decently. What do you think, Nez?
Is it too crazy to say, no, it's not dumb, but put JJJ in that lineup too and make it,
Play a little game stack thing.
you kind of need that. You kind of, yeah, you kind of need a competitive game environment, I would think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's dumb though. No, it's not dumb, but yeah, I don't think it's dumb.
Okay, cool. I like it. The Hallie forever Q here, obviously a great spot. Even without the minutes limit, he could find himself to like 45 fantasy points. I'm not sure that's enough to win this slate though.
Him or DeRozan, take your pick.
Let's do DeRozan, even though I hate DeRozan.
Sure. The one thing about Halliburton, in this game is I think Charlotte got like way more competent offensively, and that can be like really, really good for Halliburton, where they can now like I think Charlotte can. They're not Charlotte of old. They're not that super fun spot that we used to love and know. But I think that they are now like a much more competent offense where we can. Damn, it sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. I wanted that one. We could scroll down to the BI thing. We could do your Jamal thing. We could do the Harden thing. We could do Hallie gets the minutes limit removed.
I think you take the discount on Halliburton.
Okay.
How much of this is people scared of projections versus how much people are scared of a Q tag? If we get that green icon, is Halliburton all of a sudden getting pushed up?
Yeah, probably beside Ant. He probably goes ahead of Dame DeRozan, Jaren Jackson Jr., maybe ahead of Kawhi, something like that.
I think the green tag will do
Maxey
a lot.
more.
And I
still like Maxey more than him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like the blurb said on Underdog, man, Maxey's usage is going to be crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I don't think that, I mean, the Cavs are a slow team and a good defensive team, but probably much more stout against bigs, I would imagine, than players like Maxey.
This is a evergreen reminder from Blake that no, it does not matter. We just flip their ADPs.
Yeah.
When you get the fall, and then the fall is perceived as a fall, but it's not actually a fall.
Yeah, you can't
flip their ADPs.
Yeah, I used to let that bother me and feel like I have to. I feel like I had to force myself to take another like post ADP pick to make it make sense, but not at this point. No, I'm kind of over it.
Fair enough. And to be honest, like it's because the plan was set up to take Sengun. It wasn't set up to take Hallie.
That's true too. That's very true. Man, this Harden, the Siakam going really early.
Yeah, we got to flip the board here a little bit, Nez, especially if I'm going to be playing low volume tonight. Because if we just go ahead and take Kobe White plus Zion here, we're just going to dupe every single team you've made today. So we're gonna have to find a way to scroll the F down and get a little creative here.
All right, let's take a look.
Tobias Harris with the Q tag deep here. I don't think I'd like him that much, even if he did play. We could do the Denny Avdia thing that people were talking about.
Dude, IQ projects better than guess. I mean, it's a lot, but who does IQ project better than?
Jalen Johnson.
I mean, someone that would like, that is good.
Cat. IQ projects better than. IQ projects better than. Yeah, I don't know.
You said George, Cat. Maybe? Let me pull up the other.
Maybe Paul George with the minutes limit.
Emmanuel quickly projects better than Cat. He projects better than Paul George.
Yeah, I'm a savant, dog. Let's do a little cheeky correlation to finish this off here.
Okay.
You ready for this play?
Yeah, let's go.
IQ Jakob Poeltl.
Oh my God, little PNR action.
Little pick and roll. I like the spot for both of them tonight.
That's fun. That's how you do it.
Oh, Sam Olsen the King. Hallie plus Miles. That's the same thesis. Same thesis, but the other one.
Fuck, dude,
I do like that.
He's
the king, man. He's the king. I'm not the king.
Don't put this Miles Turner bullshit in the universe, dog. I don't want.
Dude, I like it tonight. I told you when we were going through it. Without Jalen Smith, it's different. His minute ceiling's way higher.
He's probably going to start raining threes. It's going to be annoying as fuck.
The only path is if he gets some fouls on Nick Richards, but Nick Richards could get some fouls on him early too.
Oh my god.
Okay, let's you want to stick with the Pirtle? You don't want to put out the Miles Turner in the universe?
I kind of like let's onslaught this game. You know, I think there's something too on big slates. You know, let's make half your lineup one game and hope that there's a lot of blowouts and you get one game that goes crazy in Spurs and Raptors, and then you also have Brunson, DeRozan, and Hallie too.
All right.
I don't know.
I respect.
I don't think you need to make your whole portfolio that, of course, but I do think there is something to getting one game, making half your lineup one game, and kind of preserving yourself from blowouts.
Be too smooth it up, baby.
Yeah.
Be too smooth. The deep dive cut, playing the hits for the people who are OG members of this community that know the BT smooth.
Gotta know Be Too Smooth.
Love it. We could do this one day. Daniel asking if we do like some future stuff. We could do some future stuff associated with the pick'em. We don't do it in terms of like our iteration of like a futures on a Warriors like this would be the playoff contest, and then building through the playoff contest there. We don't have like team style futures to offer, but we could definitely do it in terms of season long props, like especially for MLB. We could walk through the lobby there.
Yeah, if you go into the Discord, Daniel, and talk futures, people will talk futures with you in the Discord. Absolutely. But as far as our content goes, we try to stick to UD.
Yeah, and I mean, there's definitely future options like the playoff contests, as we alluded to, and
you can find different ways to hit it.
Yeah, season long stuff in the pick'ems there, but not your traditional like team style futures.
Yeah,
beautiful. Guys, do us a favor and hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell on your way out the door. I haven't asked today. There's 80 of us still hanging out here. Do us a favor. We'd like to keep coming back.
I would love to come back.
I would love to. Copper Price, love to go to a Bucks game, although we hate watching Giannis. There you go.
I'll put on my fullback dive hat for if we get to a Bucks game.
I love watching Giannis. Let's go to a Bucks game with Copper one day.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's a good show from Nick here. We should do a playoff one in the future. We'll do an MLB 100. We'll do that for sure.
Who's going head to head? Me and you? Season long?
Buddy. Yeah, let's just wrap up $200 on the site together and sweat that bad boy out weekly. Let's do it. I am in. Right. Any parting words there, Nez? I got some real life stuff.
Me
tomorrow. Too. I think maybe we'll be doing some stacking dingers stuff between tonight and tomorrow.
Definitely some Stacking Dingers episodes coming out this week. A big content week for the Stacking Dinger stuff. Baseball drafts to come on here as well, and then tomorrow I'll probably do a paywall show for the fellas,
and the ladies.
The chicas, if there are any.
If there are any ladies, there we go.
I don't know. It should be fun. Hopefully, it's post bank from your boy.
Yeah, hopefully.
I need that post bank glow in my life.
You have it, buddy. All right, sounds good. We will do something tomorrow. Maybe I'll hop on for a cheeky one. Some real life stuff to do. Too. Other than that, Off and On the Clock will be Wednesday, I imagine, and then we'll have a show on Friday for sure, and some paywall stuff. So content schedule as usual for the remainder of the week. Best of luck to everyone tonight. Big congrats again to everyone we hit on the top of the show there. And if we happen to miss you, just hit us with a tag, man. Hit us with a tag in the Discord. Hit us with a tag on Twitter. I do my best to amalgamate all of the wins, but when the community stays so winning, it's hard to do so.
Well said. Congrats, everybody, once again.
Yep. Congrats to everybody. Best of luck tonight in the hoop streets. We'll be back tomorrow. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The